First bill on the agenda is House File 1577 from Representative Koznick. I will move that House File 1577 be re-referred to the State Government Finance Committee. Welcome, Representative Koznick. Please explain your bill.
Thank you, Chair Eklund and committee members. House File 1577 is a bill that would require the Department of Labor and Industry to study the adequacy of benefits that are provided to our disabled and injured police officers. And with me, I have a constituent that has brought this issue to my attention, Wendy Wolf. And Mr. Chair, she can stand for questions and it's a brief presentation.
Ms. Wolf, welcome to the committee. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Chair Eklund. My name is Wendy Wolf, and there is a PowerPoint that Grace was going to pull up and share with you while I talk. I can get going anyway, but I am here to speak in support of House File 1577. My husband, Dan Wolf, was the commander of the bomb squad for the city of Minneapolis, and he was injured by a blast in 2005 during a training exercise. He has a traumatic brain injury. He was very good at his job, wanted to do it for as long as he could, and it was cut short through no fault of his own. At the time he was injured, he was the highest ranking agent officer on the department, and he was respected internationally for his work on the bomb squad. Next slide, please. After 2 years, we realized that there was a severe systemic problem, a structural problem with pension and work comp law, because up till then we were able to have 100% of my husband's salary between work comp, sick time, and pension benefits. But after 2 years, we got just his pension and there were no work comp benefits anymore because of a cap. We went from $72,000 a year as his income to $43,000 pretty much overnight. And I told Representative Holberg and Senator Pariseau about it, and they introduced a bill to try to increase pensions. And the Pension Commission increased just my husband's pension from 60% to 75%, while they studied the overall issue to try to make a fix for all disabled police officers. Next slide, please. So that study never happened. And since then, some other things have changed. The Ekdahl-Hartwig decision was a Supreme Court decision that gave the work comp benefits back to police and fire members that were old enough to retire at the time they were injured, but it did nothing for younger retired officers like my husband. They also changed the COLA from 2.5% to 1% per year. So with salaries going up about 3% a year, we're falling farther and farther behind what my husband would have gotten. And they eliminated automatic survivor benefits. So when my husband turned 55, they took away 10% of his pension to cover the survivor benefits. So we lost 10 years of COLA in 1 year. Next slide, please. So there are different there are different offsets depending on your demographics, which is not the way things usually work. For people who are disabled but retrained to a new job, they go from they can have up to 125% of what the current salary is for that job before there's any offset. If you go back to work, you obviously have 100% of your salary. But if you are unable to work at all, you get a maximum of 66% of your salary that's set on the date of injury with a cap based on statewide wages. Because of the Ekdahl decision, there is no offset for people who are permanently totally disabled after they reach normal retirement eligibility. Next slide, please. So this kind of puts it into perspective, what happens in the different situations. So I used actual numbers from my husband's income at the time of injury and what his income would be now if he was still able to work, so that you can get an idea of the relative impact on injured workers and their families. Under the current system, if you are injured early in your career so catastrophically that you can never work again, you get the least help of anybody that gets injured. which I don't think is the intent that the legislature had, but because of a bunch of different decisions over the years, that's how it works. Next slide, please. It's very, very few people that this happens to. It happened, I'm sure, before us because the loophole started in 1993, but nobody said anything until I brought it up in 2008. So it hasn't been fixed. And then because the study never happened, we've not been able to have any legislation to fix the loophole. Next slide, please. So what we're asking for today is just to have the study that was agreed to back in 2008. And it needs both work comp and para to work on it because of the interplay between the two issues. And it becomes increasingly important because we now have Eric Mattson severely injured and probably going to face that same loophole that we fell through. And the longer this goes on, the harder it is to fix the problem. Next slide, please. I've been told to be brief, so I left out a lot of the details, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you or your members may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wolf, for your testimony. At this point in time, I'm going to pass the gavel over to Vice Chair Zhang so I can go to my other appointment. So Vice Chair Zhang will take over on questions and I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Eklund. Members, any questions or comments on the bill? Seeing no further comments, Representative Koznick, any final remarks?
Thank you, Chair Zhang and committee members. As you briefly heard, we tried to respect your time, but there is a gap in the pension system, and this bill will hopefully identify and formally recognize that gap so that we can fill in that broken part of the system and allow our officers that are permanently totally injured through obviously no fault of their own, especially when they're young in their career, to receive the benefits that we would honor them for their service. And I appreciate my constituent, Mrs. Wolf, for bringing this to light for other officers that may experience and fall through this through the system here. So looks like there are maybe some committee member questions now, but I would encourage and appreciate your support.
Yes, Representative McDonald. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate that. Representative Koznick, thank you for bringing this bill forward and the fact that the bill was brought to you by a constituent. I think that as we all are legislators can all appreciate a great idea and a problem in the system that is brought to us by our constituents, and it just is a wonderful opportunity to be able to fix something that's broken. So I appreciate that and your work on that. And Ms. Wolf, I appreciate your testimony and my sympathies on your family as well. But a question for Representative Koznick as to how many folks does this affect at this point? Is there a number of how many those who have been injured in the line of duty that didn't cover?
Representative Koznick.
Thank you, Representative McDonald. That's a good question, and part of the reason why the study would be important. It's our understanding that it would be very few that are actually injured at the early part of their career, so that if they're permanently totally disabled, they're not able to work elsewhere, and we want to make sure that their benefits recognize the service that they provided. You know, a young officer or a new officer on day one puts their life on the line for their community. And so hopefully this bill, after the study recognizes, and the Pension Commission would recognize that we need to address this issue so that they are adequately compensated for putting their life and their family in danger.
Any follow-up, Representative McDonald?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One last thing, Representative Koznick. It also includes the firemen and women, correct?
It would. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. The Zoom, we always get out of turn here. The way the bill is written right now is just for police. But it could be fire as well, and the pension commission could recognize that through the study.
Any Representative McDonald?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Koznick. Appreciate your answer, and good to see you wearing an orange tie in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
Representative Berg?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question, because I do sit on the Pension Commission, and this is a subject that's come up that we've heard testimony on. And so just so that I could have a better understanding of it, so that when we vote on it or take any action, I want to make sure that I understand it and am the best advocate for it. So I went to some sources and asked the questions. They were union members, asked them to explain sort of what their pensions look like and what their system is, and what do you think about this particular subject. And the pushback that I got, wasn't necessarily that, nobody wants a police officer or a firefighter who is injured in the job to struggle for the rest of their lives. The pushback was, how this person pays into the pension fund for a few years, and then the responsibility for the rest of their life falls on the current members to continue to put money into the fund for those members, which some members don't mind and others do. So thoughts on that sort of pushback?
Representative Koznick?
Thank you, and Representative Berg. I think my thoughts would first go that, as I mentioned earlier, on the very first call that an officer or other first responders might go on, there's the same amount of risk, whether it's on the first day of their call or on the last day before retirement. And so when they put their lives in that harm's way, I think we owe it to them to adequately compensate them for that service. My testifier may have a little bit more detail on the complexities of how that works, but it's a good question, and one of the reasons why the study would be able to more articulately lay out the gap in the pension systems and the different benefits that are received, and to make sure that they're adequate as the bill as states.
Representative Berg, any follow-up?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I was just basically looking for thoughts on that piece of it. I agree with you, having been married to a police officer. I hear you, and I appreciate that it's just as dangerous the first call to the last call. Thank you for bringing this bill forward. As I sit on the Pension Commission and try to make decisions there, discussions like this are very helpful. So thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Representative Koznick?
I'm not sure if my testifier might be able to more.
Yes, I was just about to call her. Miss Wolf?
Thank
You
you.
have a
Mis-
response for?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I do. It's not just the pension, it's pension and work comp together. The legislature over the years has passed a variety of laws that have ended up that if you are injured early in your career and are severely injured where you can never work again, all you get is your pension. And it's a smaller pension than what you would get if you were able to make it to the end of your career. Had my husband retired at age 55, he would have had a pension that was over $100,000 and then been able to get another job. He was recruited by the FBI to teach at their bomb school whenever he decided to leave Minneapolis. So his pension, even with the increase that we were given by the 2008 pension bill, omnibus pension bill, is a little over a quarter of what he would have for income if he were healthy and had been able to retire healthy and get another job. I lost my ability to work full time as well because I'm his caregiver. I get $30 a day to take care of him, and I'm able to work part time with that. But the overall thing between the pension and the work comp, you will be financially destroyed if you are injured early in your career, catastrophically injured and unable to work. That's the exact opposite of how it's represented to the members. And very few members know that this loophole exists. We didn't know until we fell through it. And people at first didn't even believe me when I was testifying back in 2008. They thought there's no way the law could be that bad, where people who are severely injured get the least help. It couldn't possibly be that way. But it's continued to be that way for 13 more years because this study hasn't been done. It's a very, very few people. A few years ago, before the Ekdahl decision, they estimated that it was a little over 30 people, but some of those got their work comp benefits because of the Ekdahl decision. So it's even fewer than that that are actually impacted by this. But for the people who are impacted, it's absolutely devastating. We were at the point where the only way my family was going to be able to survive financially is if my husband died. And people think that when you have a brain injury, you just sort of don't know what's going on and you just sit around and don't worry about things. But that's not how it actually worked. My husband literally wanted to die to support our family. And
Thank
it
you,
should
Ms.
never be
Wolf.
like that.
Representative Nelson?
There we go. Mr. Chair and members, I'm listening to the testimony and my understanding is part of this is the interplay with workers' comp and the worker comp law changes that were done in 1993, which put a cap on I think it's a 5-year cap on someone that's disabled being able to collect those disability, those workers' comp benefits. Am I correct in that? Representative Kosnick or Ms. Wolf?
Representative Koznick? Or Ms. Wolf, if you can't answer that.
Yeah, I believe Ms. Wolf would be more versed in this, but I believe the answer is yes.
Ms. Wolf?
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. And thank you for the question. It absolutely is the case that 1993 made the cap on the number of years you could collect, but there's been changes since then so that after 2 years, if you have reached maximum medical improvement and are permanently totally disabled, you don't get any wage loss. There's a $25,000 lifetime cap. And we didn't actually get that $25,000 until several years later because of paperwork problems. But you're immediately at 2 years hit with a cap for your lifetime of $25,000 a year. You may or may not get it to begin with and then have it cut off when you get to $25,000, but you go from your full salary to 60% of your salary with a 1% increase for the rest of your life. Now imagine having that happen when you're 25, 30 years old and how far behind you're going to fall over all of those years.
Representative Nelson, any follow-up?
Yes, I just wanted to say that, yeah, again, it's the workers' comp law that is the problem here. I understand that construction field, we have people that get injured early in their career. And again, they reach the medical maximum improvement. And then when they hit that sets that time frame off and it just puts that cap in. So while we're talking the police pension here, and they have some additional benefits that they have there, and they don't get Social Security. They don't pay into Social Security, so they don't qualify for Social Security benefits, which somebody would file for Social Security disability, but the police and fire don't pay into Social Security because of the vagaries of the way that their pensions are set up. So there is an issue here that needs to be looked at. The question is whether it's the pension fund, again, how the pension is going to be funded to pay for that. But I understand that. Now I understand what the question here is. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Nelson. I will make the motion that House File 1577 be re-referred to State Government Finance. The Community Legislative Assistant will take the roll.
Chair Eklund.
Yes.
Eklund, aye. Vice Chair Zhang.
Yes.
Zhang, aye. Representative Detmer.
Aye.
Detmer, aye. Representative McDonald.
McDonald, aye.
McDonald, aye. Representative Berg.
Aye.
Berg, aye. Representative Bliss.
Aye.
Bliss, aye. Representative Edelson.
Aye.
Edelson, aye. Representative Frederick.
Aye.
Frederick, aye. Representative Greenman.
Aye.
Greenman, I. Representative Nelson.
Aye.
Nelson, I. Representative Poston.
Aye.
Poston, I. Representative Raleigh.
Raleigh, aye.
Raleigh, I. Representative Sundin.
Aye.
Sundin, I. There are 13 ayes, 0 nays.
There being 14 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes and the bill is on its way.